From Cleveland Stadium, the NFL on CBS brings you an interconference matchup. The Los Angeles Rams and the Cleveland Browns. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Irv Cross here in Cleveland. And Irv, who would have figured two teams that were in the playoffs a year ago, this should have been a big game, and they're struggling now just for respectability this year. Still, the Rams come in on a high from their win over the Super Bowl champs.
Well, yeah, they're excited about that victory last week, Tim, but Coach Robinson told us last night, we don't know if we played that well last week or San Francisco played that poorly. But today's game is a big game for the Rams because this is a game they ought to win. And he said if we can win this game, it'll prove our victory over the 49ers last week really wasn't a fluke. Now, as far as the Cleveland Browns are concerned, the big story in town is how the team is going to respond to quarterback Bernie Kosar's tirade after he ripped into them last weekend and their loss to the Miami Dolphins. He went into the locker room and said a lot of players in here are not giving 100% towards a winning effort. And talking to the Brown players over the last few days, a lot of them agree with Bernie. Some don't. So we'll see how they respond today.
And now to our deep for the Rams, number 3.
Well, the Rams will have the ball first, and the Browns will defend to our right on this breezy but sunny afternoon here in Cleveland. And it'll be Brian Wagner, the punter, who does the kicking off for the Browns, letting it fly. The deep men are Green and Delfino for the Rams. And it is into the end zone and through. So Jim Everett will bring out the Los Angeles Rams off their victory over the 49ers a week ago, a game in which the 49ers suffered 6 turnovers and the Rams took advantage. Offensively, you'll have Pankey, Newberry, Smith, Love, and Slater, with Pat Carter replacing the injured Damone Johnson at tight end. Johnson out with a hamstring pull. Cleveland Gary and Buford McGee, the running backs. Ellard and Anderson, the wide receivers. Everett passing at 56% with 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions on the season thus far. Delfino and McGee make the opening play, and it's out to McGee on first down. Buford McGee, 32 catches on the season, a key performer last week against San Francisco, and about an 8-yard gain. 2 rookies on the defensive end positions for Cleveland, Burnett and Pleasant, and then Bob Bukowski starting at left tackle today with Michael Dean Perry. The linebackers, Clay Matthews, Mike Johnson, and David Grayson. And the secondary, banged up and hurt. On the left corner today will be Mark Harper for the injured Frank Minifield. Claiborne on the other side with Wright and Gash at safeties. Claiborne favoring a groin pull, along with nickelback Tony Blaylock. On second down, a long 2. The give is to Cleveland Gary, and Gary has a first down Rams to the 31 of Los Angeles. Mike Johnson on the tackle, along with Rob Burnett. These two clubs have gone to the playoffs 22 times apiece in their history. That's the most in NFL history. And Jim Schaffner cannot face that prospect this year as he has taken over from the departed Bud Carson, is 0-2 as a head coach, coming from the offensive coordinator position under Carson to take over here at least for the end of the season. John Robinson feeling some heat in Los Angeles, acknowledging that's what you get when you have a losing team. And on first down, the pass intended for Anderson, incomplete. Coverage from Mark Harper, the left cornerback, number 23. Everett last week against the Giants served a good afternoon, 16 of 27, 224 yards. Did have a touchdown, did have an interception, but did not have a touchdown in the winning effort. But he has been struggling against the 49ers, I should say, not the Giants.
Well, you know, he has a tendency to go in streaks, though, Tim. When he gets hot, though, he's unbelievable. He can hit 14, 15 in a row very easily. And the one thing the Browns defense is concerned about is they don't want him to get started.
On second down, Gary, a huge hole. There's a flag on the play, but Gary proceeds all the way inside the 40 of Cleveland. They'll mark it at the 38, but there may be a penalty against the Rams, and there is a holding call. Claiborne the man to get Gary, but a great start for Cleveland. Gary is wiped out by the holding penalty.
Holding. Number 66, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That is Tom Newberry, according to referee Gordon McCarter, and that's probably why there was such a good holder.
Well, yeah, he's working against Michael Dean Perry, number 92. 66, Tom Newberry is the lead blocker here, and you can see he is holding Michael Dean. He's their best defensive lineman here for the Browns, and perhaps the best defensive lineman in all of football. But Cleveland Gary makes a good move upfield, what looked like, you know, a pretty good run, but it was nullified by the penalty.
623 yards coming into the game for Cleveland Gary. There's Newberry charged with the hold. 2nd and 20. Delfino and McGee now in the backfield for the Rams. And flags and whistles everywhere as the Browns got to Everett. It may have been a false start against the Rams this time. Perry had what appeared to be the sack. Now, delay of game was the call against the Rams. And Perry has his sack nullified, and it turns into a 5-yard penalty. And here's a look at the weather conditions here today for this time of year in Cleveland. Positively balmy. 44 degrees. Light winds, although they appear to be higher near the top of the stadium. 2nd and long. Everett. Deep sideline is complete. Out near the 30-yard line, Henry Ellard makes his first catch of the day. About a 14-yard gain, but they still have a long way to go. 3rd and 11.
I was talking to Henry Ellard during the pregame warm-up, Tim, to find out how his hamstring pull was going. You know, he was out of the game last week against the 49ers because of that severe pull in his right leg. He said he's about 85%. He's ready to run almost full speed, but he should be effective today. That out pattern showed that he can go ahead and go in full stride. Robinson, I'm sure, is happy to see it.
3rd down, 11 for the Rams. Anderson, Womack, join Ellard. And it's intended for Anderson. Broken up at the last instant by Mark Harper. The ball hung up just a little bit. Anderson adjusted well, I thought, Irv, but Mark Harper alertly turned just in time.
Well, Anderson told me earlier in the week there's not a defensive back in the league who can cover me one-on-one when they press. Now, Mark Harper was in a press position right on his head, and Anderson, with his great speed, tries to outrun him. But really, Harper's in terrific position there. Makes a great defensive play on the ball.
So the Rams are forced to punt on their first series. Keith English of Colorado. Picked up in the trade with San Diego this year. Do the punting, standing at his 15-yard line, a long count. And he hits it from the 20. And it's a short punt taken on the fly by Brennan. It's loose, recovered by the Rams. Pat Terrell, the rookie from Notre Dame, took it right off the fingertips of Brennan, who mishandled it. A 28-yard punt, but the Rams have the football in Browns territory.
Tim, you very seldom see this in Brian Brennan. He's a very reliable receiver. Good punt return man. I think the reason why he came up and made a play on that ball is because last week against Miami, he called a fair catch and no one was around him for 15 yards. This time he says, I'm going to catch it no matter what. Came up short, muffed the punt.
Boy, had he hung on to it there, Irv, it was a short punt, and it would have given the Browns great field position. So I'm sure it was tempting for him, in addition to what you said, to make a big play there, to make up for that last week.
I remember the Browns are coming into this game, Tim, saying we have to make something happen. We have to go ahead and give 100% plus. Hate to use that cliche, but that's how they're thinking right now.
Cleveland Gary on first down. Nowhere. Claiborne on the tackle for the Browns, with David Grayson, the linebacker, number 56.
Really interesting, Tim, with the development of the play selection the Rams are using. You seem to be running to the left side of their offensive line, attacking Michael Dean Perry and Anthony Pleasant. But the rookie who has the biggest job to fill, I think, is the guy working over Jackie Slater, number 90, Rob Burnett. And we'll see if the Rams elect to try to work on that side of their offensive line.
On 2nd and 11, Everett has lots of time, goes deep, and he'll overthrow everybody. It was almost intercepted. Thane Gash, ranging back in double coverage, had the best shot at it, but there's a flag downfield.
Tim, what happened? We'll see.
Pass interference, number 26 defense, automatic first down.
That's Claiborne.
Yeah, Claiborne's missed some practice time this week because of a groin pull. Now, one of the toughest things for a defensive back to do is move laterally. Now, what Ellard did was broke outside and then turned up, which meant that Claiborne had to spin around real quickly. And I imagine that groin is still bothering him. It's early in the game, not quite warmed up yet, and he just grabbed Ellard to try to slow him down. Came up with a flag.
So another break for the Los Angeles Rams here. He got the ball back on a fumbled punt return by Brennan. Turns into a 17-yard pickup here. Ball. Browns may have it. They do. Gary, his 9th fumble of the season for the Rams, and it's Grayson who came up with it off a hit from Rob Burnett.
Well, I tell you, I think they probably went to the well too many times, working to the left side of their offensive line. Again, number 92, Michael Dean Perry, does a pretty good job of standing up Newberry, but then inside, Grayson comes up with a tremendous play for the recovery. You know, the Browns were in a hole. They'd had a muff punt, you know, a penalty on the defense to get themselves backed up. Then the defense comes up with a big turnover.
Well, despite his 13 touchdowns and 600-plus yards, Gary has now coughed up the ball 5 times. He's lost fumbles. That's the 9th time he's dropped the ball. First down, Browns. First offensive possession. Kevin Mack gets about 2 at the 31-yard line of the Browns. So 2 early turnovers here at Cleveland. Bernie Kosar, who challenged his teammates to prepare better for the game, has his first opportunity here. Barron, Tam, Mab, Rakosi, Tony Jones with Ozzie Newsome, the veteran tight end. Metcalf and Mack, the running backs. Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne, 2 dangerous wide receivers. 2nd and 8, Browns from their own 32. Shifting again, making the strong side right. And we have 7 defensive backs in. The defense the Rams showed last week. Metcalf gets out near the 35-yard line, and it'll leave 2nd and a long 5. Metcalf stopped by Farinace. Defensively for the Rams, Reed, Wright, and Peel in their base 3-man front. Linebackers Kevin Green, Stams, Larry Kelm, and Mike Wiltshire, and you'll see Green up there as a pass rusher in some formations. Gray and Henley on the corners, Newsome and Stewart are the safeties. Browns go to the shotgun on 3rd down and a long 5. Ozar can make the sideline, knocked away by Jerry Gray. And Langhorne, the intended receiver, had no chance at the ball. Good play by Jerry Gray.
Big nickel, Tim, with the 6 defensive backs on the field. This time, Jerry Gray is the man working on the far side here against number 88, Reggie Langhorne. Gray, a Pro Bowl defensive back, almost picked it off. Again, he has a great burst on the ball. Once the ball's in the air, he can make up a lot of ground, Tim, to come up with interceptions.
4th down. Wagner standing at the 20-yard line. This young punter has been struggling so far this season, averaging 38.5 yards a punt. And this one is a end-over-end shot that is going to be brought back by the Rams. Henley over midfield into Browns territory. So the Rams again have good field position. We'll be right back. Well, last week, Bernie Kosar ripped into his teammates and then did the same with the media.
What type of work ethic and dedication that we have to this organization and to the pride that we should have in playing for the Cleveland Browns and playing professional football.
Well, after those remarks that were made immediately after the game, first to his teammates, then to the media. Of course, the reporters went to get response from the rest of the Browns, and as Irv said earlier, some of them supported what Bernie said, and others weren't so sure they agreed with him.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that, though, Tim, is that if they play well and win, they'll say he's a great leader. If they lose, they'll say, well, there's dissension on the football team. So you're taking a risk when you go public with your internal problems like that.
Well, Kosar took the risk. Del Pino on 1st down gets to the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and a long 5 for the Rams. A 37-yard punt by Wagner and a good return by Henley, giving the Rams excellent field position again. Pleasant and Bukowski made the stop for the Browns.
4 from the 40.
2nd and 5. Kansas City on top of New England early. Diving catch coming back to the ball nicely. Henry Ellard, 29-year-old veteran from Fresno State. He's been out the last couple of games with a hamstring pull, and it's still tender.
It's still the same thing, though, Tim. A multiple move, moving inside, then breaking outside, forcing the defensive back to cross over. Claiborne again has a bad groin injury. There goes Ellard on the sideline pattern. You see Claiborne has to stop quickly and come back up. That's painful for a guy who's got a sore groin, and did the best job he could, but it's a completed pass. Again, he's beating him here easily for the completion.
So a first down, Los Angeles at the 28-yard line of Cleveland. No score first quarter. Anderson and Derek Faison join Ellard now. Gaston Green trying to get outside. Picks up 4, maybe 5 yards. His first carry, the number 1 pick in 1988.
Talking earlier, Tim, about why the Rams are running so much to their left, not to the right side, where they had Jackie Slater working against Rob Burnett. Now we know why. That Burnett is a very active defensive end. He's a young guy, not very experienced. He's only a rookie. But Jackie told me earlier in the week he comes upfield very well. He's very quick off the ball. And I'm going to have to really give him a variety of moves to contain him. That time, the Brown defense did a good job of containing that sweep.
Burnett replacing Al Baker at that left defensive end spot. Baker now on injured reserve. Second down, Holohan in the game for the Rams. The pass is out to Anderson. Anderson in a crossing pattern appears to have a first down. Mark Harper made the tackle, number 23.
This pattern is very effective, Tim, if you're running A, against a zone defense, or B, a man-to-man defense when you have a wide receiver at good speed. 83, you see Flipper Anderson, the inside of the formation, is covered man-to-man by the safety, who's about 8 yards off of him right now. He can't quite get up there. He goes all the way across field, makes the reception, where it's finally brought down by Mark Harper.
Green and Buford McGee now, the setbacks for the Rams on first down. The 17-yard line. Flags fly as McGee goes straight ahead for 2, maybe 3. It looked like the Browns jumped. The question will be where they pull. Offside is against Cleveland.
Offside, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down, 5.
Bob Bukowski, the left tackle, picked up as a free agent this year from the Chargers. And we see the Rams numbers inside the 20. They've scored 22 touchdowns, 32 times in there. And that leads the National Football League. They have a 1st and 5 now from the 13-yard line. Green hit behind the line of scrimmage by Burnett. Rob Burnett sailed in there unimpeded. The rookie from Syracuse.
That's the kind of thing that Jackie Slater was telling me about. This guy Burnett is really quick. He's from Syracuse University, as indicated before, Tim, but he has great explosion off the ball. Not very big, only about 6'4", but 270, and boy, he came in that time on an inside maneuver, taking a slant move, and actually beat the offensive lineman to the hole. Came up with an outstanding play.
See, the Browns have not been terribly effective keeping people out of the end zone once they're in that so-called red zone. On second down, little roll by Everett this time for the corner, and it's incomplete. Good coverage in the corner on the receiver, Henry Ellard. Claiborne tracking Ellard from the far side of the field, and Everett just threw it away. Third down. Holohan comes into the lineup. And Del Pino goes out. Everett 4 of 7 so far.
Down on this part of the field, Tim, when you're inside the 15-yard line, on the 14-yard line, that defensive secondary really constricts. What you want in here, if you can get it to some quick pass right away to the wide people or the tight end.
Everett will take off here and gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard at most. Browns had good coverage, and Everett elected to not throw it away. Grayson made the stop on him, and it'll be 4th down.
Tim, the man he wants to get, Tim, is right here, number 81, Pete Holohan. He's trying to work inside to get in a crossing pattern here, but he's knocked off by the tight end, and Everett, of course, can't find him because he's being rushed by that front 4. That's the guy I wanted, though, Holohan, and couldn't quite get him on the look-in.
Holohan will hold it now for Mike Lansford. It'll be a 30-yard field goal try for the Rams. And the barefooted Lansford has it, and the Rams have the lead. 3-0 here in the first period. We'll be right back. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium, where the Rams have a 3-0 lead on the 30-yard field goal by Lansford. They went 23 yards in 8 plays, 3:45 off the clock. We're in the first quarter. Lansford, the barefooted one, 8 of 15 this season. Been bothered with a calf muscle pull and has not been his usual effective self over the course of the season. It's one of the many problems the Rams have faced. Eric Metcalf is the deep man with Derek Gaynor and Harlan Barnett, the up men for the Cleveland Browns, and Lansford having difficulty keeping that ball on the tee. So there is some wind now down there on the field here at Cleveland Stadium. A not unusual circumstance blowing off Lake Erie. So Henley being asked to hold it for him. And it is a short kickoff taken at the 13-yard line by Barnett. Harlan Barnett, the rookie from Michigan State. And for an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, at Soldier Field in Chicago, watch Rodney Peete step back and hit Robert Clark, who goes 57 yards before he finally is out of bounds at the 3-yard line. That set up a Rodney Peete touchdown, and the Lions are ahead of the Bears 7-0. First quarter, Tim.
And the Lions, their offense kind of coming together, Irv, as they did last year. They had a good finish to the season a year ago. They get that defense together. I think they're going to be a dangerous team.
Well, they don't have any problem moving the football. That run and shoot is really red hot. Particularly with Peete entering.
First down, Browns now trailing 3-0. First quarter. Their own 28. That ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Alvin Wright, the nose man, number 99, got a hand up on it.
Incomplete. Tipped at the line of scrimmage by Alvin Wright.
This is a little bit of a problem, really, Tim, with Kosar. Number 99, Alvin Wright, gets in there and knocks this ball down. 6'2", but Kosar has a tendency to throw a ball. It's a little bit sidearm. Now, that was a pretty good delivery, but Wright just got up and knocked it down.
Jim Schaffner admits that it can be a problem for Kosar, but he said if we get the right blocking, it shouldn't happen very frequently at all.
Well, to change your offensive blocking responsibilities on the pass, instead of dropping back and accepting defensive linemen, they're punching out and trying to stop at the line of scrimmage.
That's out to Webster. Slaughter is complete for about an 8, maybe 9-yard gain.
One way to get your offense going, Tim, was to throw quick rhythm passes. Now, again, if you respect the defense, it's doing a pretty good job putting pressure on your quarterback. This is one way to get your offense going. A quick out, number 84, Webster Slaughter, who picks up about 7 yards.
Now closer to 9. It'll be third down, a long yard, as Henley had the coverage and then helped out on the tackle. Metcalf in motion, and they hand it to him. And Metcalf has the first down, Cleveland, to their 42-yard line.
Tim, the Browns have done a couple of things differently with the change in the coaching staff. Jim Schaffner believes in trying to get the ball in the Metcalf's hands as much as possible. Have him in the lineup as an every down running back or split out. This time it's in the slot position, coming back on a reverse, and picks up pretty good yardage coming in. They don't like to run laterally like that because they don't think their offensive linemen pull that well. But Metcalf, with his speed and quickness, can come upfield and pick those holes pretty well.
First down from their 42 for the Browns, down 3-0. The tight end John Talley, and they go out to Slaughter. He dropped the ball. The flanker screen pass for Slaughter, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Now we see the Lions score over the Bears who were beaten a week ago by Minnesota, trailing on Rodney Peete's touchdown. And look what Buffalo is doing at home to Philadelphia. The Eagles with their huge win over the Giants last week. And Washington, they just won't go away from anybody, those Redskins. And Cincinnati, a big game for them today against Pittsburgh, as they are each 6-5 along with Houston atop the AFC Central. Wiltshire moves into the middle here in the big nickel defense. 6 backs in now for the Rams on the 2nd and 10. Play action. Kosar's got Webster. Slaughter. To the 19 of the Los Angeles Rams, where Pat Terrell forced him out.
A terrific move on Webster Slaughter's part. He'll go inside here and run to the post, convincing the defensive back he's going in there. Darrell Henley bit on it, and Webster comes back out. Ball well timed, thrown in there for a huge gain.
39 yards, a perfect play from Bernie Kosar to Webster Slaughter.
They've done that many, many times, Tim. The Webster Slaughter Bernie Kosar connection here when it gets going gives opposing teams fits.
First down inside the 19 of the Rams. Los Angeles leading 3-0. Metcalf close to another first down.
The Browns are a big screen and draw team, Tim. That time they threw a screen pass to Metcalf, quick screen to the short side, anticipating that the Rams and their base defense would be revolving the other way, which means they'd have room to come back. And they did for about an 8-yard gain.
Inside the 20, the Browns have scored only 14 times out of 29 tries.
A play like that for the Browns, Tim, on first down is equal to a run. They want to get the ball in Metcalf's hands. Why run a sweep? Just throw it to him out there and let him go with it.
Kevin Mack, and he has a first down for the Browns, or at least very close to it. Let's see where they spot it. Mack had 468 yards coming into the game, with 79 of them against Miami last week. They'll also throw the ball to him. He has 29 catches.
The big thing about his production, though, Tim, is that he averages about 4.5 yards a carry. So when Kevin Mack is carrying the football, you're getting big yardage every time he carries it. Down in this territory, if you get 4 yards a crack, I mean, you'll take that any time of the day.
Third and a long yard required for the Browns here. Mack and Derek Gaynor in an I formation. Derek Mack hit behind the line and then straightened up near the line of scrimmage. He may not have gotten it. The ball came loose, although I believe play was already whistled dead. But it did not appear from here that Mack had made the first down. Alvin Wright, first man to pop him.
Hey, Tim, but the guy really causes the damage is number 93, Doug Reed. Reed is over here. You'll see him come inside and knock off that tackles block and jam everything up. Mack has no place to go. He's trying to work off tackle, but because Reed does a good job of closing off that hole, jammed it up.
So it'll be Jerry Cork attempting a 28-yard field goal for the Browns. Low snap and a good job teeing it up by Mike Pagel, and Cork connects. A 27-yard field goal has us tied at 3. At Cleveland Stadium, we have a tie football game. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross here, as the Browns have just tied it up at 3 on a 27-yard field goal by Jerry Corrick. And he will kick it off to Del Pino and Gaston Green. It'll be Del Pino from the 4-yard line. And a fine return for Robert Del Pino. Good blocking gets him up over the 35. Stephen Braggs made the tackle. A 33-yard return.
Well blocked up front. You can see the 4 blockers up there forming the wedge. This is a middle return. Just come right up the gut. Pick up your the defenders coming down. The Rams do a pretty good job. Del Pino comes up with an outstanding return, bringing the ball around the 35-yard line. Again, a big area the Browns felt they had to improve on was the special teams play, particularly on kickoffs. They don't kick the ball very deep. They oftentimes wind up having themselves defending from midfield.
Well, again, good field position for Los Angeles. Green, the running back, has the ball. And Green gets away from the first tackler and is stopped by Burnett. For an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel.
Well, Tim, at Buffalo, the Bills look ready for the Eagles today. Jim Kelly to Andre Reed for 56 yards and a touchdown. Put that one with a 63-yard TD pass earlier, and Buffalo leads the Eagles 17-0 first quarter, Tim.
Buffalo at 9-2 going into the game, tied with Miami atop the AFC East Division. Many people for the last couple of years think they are a Super Bowl caliber team, and they're off to that kind of a start today.
That's really a shocker for the Eagles, though, Tim, because everybody knows how boisterous and outspoken they are down there about how good their football team is. But they really felt that after that big win over the Giants last weekend, that they were ready to go ahead and make a serious run for the division playoff spot. And boy, 17-0 in the first quarter is a real shocker.
It's a test for Cunningham to come back in Buffalo. It is short of the first down, as you can see, by about the length of a football. And the Rams going today without Aaron Cox and Damone Johnson, 2 of their regular receivers. Cox kind of the third receiver, of course, after Ellard and Anderson, but a guy who plays a lot. Cleveland without Brent Fullwood, who is just being sat down today. And Minifield, of course, who would be starting on the corner, out with a heel injury. And on second and short, Buford McGee picks up the first down and then some. Down to the 46-yard line of Cleveland. Grayson and Thane Gash made the stop. But again, big holes right in the middle of that line, Irv.
Big holes again. You've got Doug Smith at center, Tom Newberry at left guard, and Duval Love at right guard. Very good drive blockers, and that time they just blew the middle of that line out of there.
And that should be the final play of the first quarter. Not sure what's happening here. Delay on the field, but nothing else happening.
I see 3. Well, they're letting the clock run down. The quarter's over now.
And the zeros come up. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Rams 3 and the Browns 3 at Cleveland Stadium. Tim Ryan, Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium. We're about to begin the second quarter here. And the Rams will work from our right to the left now. And they're visiting white uniforms. They are tied at 3. They have a first down at the Browns 46. McGee and Delpino, the running back combination. And a quick pass and a short drop to Delpino. A gain of 7 yards for the Rams, where Felix Wright, the safety, number 22, made the stop.
Felix Wright on the tackle.
The Rams again trying to get a mismatch if they possibly can on the outside. Everett on a quick drop. This is a real quick rhythm pass out to Delpino right now. And about a 4-yard gain. Felix Wright making the play. Again, Felix Wright as a safety will go out on the corner if a back goes out. So they'll switch positions depending on who's out there.
The second and 4 from the 40-yard line. This is Green. Green at the line of scrimmage by the safety Gash. And little, if any, gain. In the first quarter, the Rams had it for 9:12 and Cleveland for 5 minutes 48 seconds.
Okay. I'll tell you what happens here. Michael Dean Perry is the guy the Rams have to work on to control him in order to get any kind of running, whether it's inside or outside, because he's such a devastating defender. This time, a nice cutback block by Irv Pankey, getting him off his feet, keeping him away from the pursuit. That's the way you have to handle a defensive lineman like that. You know, you have to keep him on the ground.
Cleveland Gary into the backfield now for the Rams on 3rd and 4. Everett is 5 of 8 passing, and he'll throw on this down. Sideline for Ellard. Henry Ellard. And it is inbounds for a completion at the 24-yard line of Cleveland. Now they're glad to have Henry Ellard back into their pass offense.
You credit experience here, Tim. Everett early on is in trouble here because his pass protection breaks down. But Henry Ellard coming all the way across the field, waves his arms, lets him know he's open, makes a catch coming across the defense. Again, it was a man-to-man coverage, but because he was able to get Everett's attention early on by waving to him, Everett found him in the flesh.
Buffalo has gone on top of the Eagles 24-0 in the first quarter. Everett Kelly touchdown pass. And Everett connects to the tight end Carter. It'll be short of the first down, but a gain of at least 8. Pat Carter, number 88, playing for the injured Damone Johnson, out with a hamstring pull.
Michael Dean Perry is the leading sacker here for the Cleveland Browns with 8 sacks so far this year, and he puts an awful lot of pressure. Whoa, my gosh, look at that, just destroying Tom Newberry. And Everett, even though he got rid of the ball, paid the price.
Downfield, Mike Johnson, the linebacker, made the tackle. And it was an 8-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 2. Rams driving again. And a quick opener to Buford McGee. Yes, it is McGee, and he's stopped by Perry. And maybe a yard to the 15-yard line. So the first big play of the football game will be the Rams' 3rd down play here. The Browns trying to keep them out of that end zone. 3rd and 2. There was no gain. Cleveland Gary comes in. Pete Holohan is in. The favorite 3rd and short receiver for the Rams. It goes to Holohan, first down to the 8-yard line. There's my question. Every time they complete a pass to Holohan when the whole world knows they're going to throw it to him, and he's not exactly nifty or swift, how do they get the ball to him so easily? Watch this one.
Well, if you get the matchups you want, though, you see everybody's tied down one-on-one. Holohan, first of all, he gets a good inside release. You see him coming in there. No one can touch him. He's under the linebackers, and all everybody has to do is wait for him to get from one linebacker to the other to hit him. The key with Holohan is the fact that when he throws the ball to him, when you throw the ball to him in traffic, he catches it. He has real good hands.
Yeah, and it looked also like Anderson gave a nice little pick on the play as well. That didn't hurt. First down. And it is Gaston Green getting near the 5-yard line before being stopped by Johnson. Michael Dean Perry coming back to get in on it. It'll be 2nd and 5. Still an amazing thing for the slow-footed Holohan, though, to just consistently get himself open. Everybody knows the ball's going to him, and still they make it.
Well, Ray Berry was slow-footed too. And Blitnikoff was slow-footed too. But these guys wound up being great receivers because they have the ability to get open. Tim, there's a knack to it. To get off the line of scrimmage, find the open spot, and then once the ball's delivered, catch it. And Holohan's like that. He just catches the football. He's not going to drop him one.
2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Green again, and Green dances his way down to the 2-yard line.
Gaston Green, the ball carrier.
Thane Gash, the safety, gets him there.
Thane Gash, that's the key, Tim. When you hear the defensive backs and safeties are making tackles, you have a problem up front. But right now the problem is number 66, Tom Newberry, does a pretty good job again containing Michael Dean Perry, and Duvall comes through from his right guard position, makes a good trap block out there. Slater makes a good trap block, and there's your hole, the old counter, OT counter, where the backside guard and tackle will pull, creating the hole for the halfback.
So they're going to measure this. I thought they had a 3rd and goal, but they're obviously the marker is, now we see that marker, it is indeed just inside the 1. They're going to be short of it. They could get to a first down by getting to about the 6-inch line, but they are short. And now there's a 3-way discussion here that's recognized by the crowd immediately. Well, thank you.
Goal to go.
For some reason, the chains were not
Number
correct.
67 is eligible receiver.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me they're not 10 yards long? We're going to have a problem.
Vern Brostek comes in as an extra blocker, and Duval Love moves out to a tight end position on their short yardage play. So we were right that it was a 3rd and goal situation.
The chains weren't correct. I'm still trying to digest that.
3rd and goal it is. Gary diving, and I believe the Browns stopped him. Well, the fans will respond to that effort. This beleaguered Cleveland Browns team showing some stuff down there at the goal line.
There's a lot of stuff down there on the goal line, Tim. Because number 59, Mike Johnson, linebacker inside here, comes over the top. Watch, he'll meet the ball carrier head on. Here we go, bang. It looked to me like he made contact with him before he got to the line of scrimmage. I don't think they made yardage at all, Tim. They might have even lost a little bit on that particular play.
That was
terrific effort by Mac Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson.
Mike,
hey, think those guys are going business?
Mike, number 59, and Eddie Johnson, number 51. 4th and goal. The Rams will go for it. Wide open, touchdown, Holohan. Well, Holohan makes it look easy again, and the Browns had them all stacked up for the run.
You know, you see this happen all the time, Tim. Holohan is lined up here at the tight end position. He'll kind of bury himself in it before he releases. Now, all the defenders will lose him. The key here is they have a good fake. Everett fakes pretty well here this back, convinces everybody it's run, but here comes Pete. Remember that guy we talked about who makes clutch catches at the crucial times? There he is again, number 81, because of the well-designed play.
Lansford with a point after. And the Rams go on top here in the 2nd quarter at Cleveland Stadium. The Rams 10 and the Browns 3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around. UPS now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Miller Genuine Draft with a reminder to please think when you drink this holiday season.
Well, the Rams utilizing good field position as they have throughout this first half. Take it down to the 1-yard line and then connect to this man. Everett to Holohan, a 1-yard touchdown pass and a 10-3 margin. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross here at Cleveland Stadium. Lansford will kick it off. Metcalf from the 5. And Metcalf gets out to the 23-yard line.
Is tripped up by number 97, Bruce Klosterman.
Bruce Klosterman, who just joined the Rams as a special teams player, replacing the injured Greg Clark, made the tackle. Clark gone for the season with a broken fibula, suffered last week against the 49ers. Tough luck for Greg, who was leading the team in tackles, a valuable player on the Rams. 65 yards in 12 plays, 7:13 off the clock. And that is damaging, of course. Browns shift 3 players on this first down. Saw him, and the Rams came up with the ball, but they're going to call it a sack. Alvin Wright came up with the football. Herb, what do you think here? Is this a fumble or a sack?
Well, it was awfully close, Tim, and Kevin Green got in awfully fast. Here he is in a stand-up position. Bang, right now. And we'll blitz Kosar on the snap. What Kosar is trying to do now, the Browns run a lot of audibles. And right now he's checking the defense to see what he might want to do. The Rams go into a double cover, a zone coverage where their corners come up. He's looking at that, never sees Kevin Green. Now, I think that's a fumble. That's a fumble, and the Browns obviously recovered it.
Well, it is Brown's ball, second down and 20. And Kosar in trouble again, and again it's Kevin Green. And Green drops him at the 15-yard line.
I'll tell you, Tim, he told us last night that his pass rushing techniques are beginning to come into focus here. Number 91 is the guy who comes in again for the Rams. There he is working on this on the tackle here, gets rid of him. And comes inside. He said that the Rams at one time this season thought about putting him on the right side of the defense. He had difficulty picking up those maneuvers. He feels comfortable on the left side of the defensive line where he can jerk and pull the offensive lineman out and slip inside of him.
Well, he's got 2 sacks here today, 9 on the season now. From the shotgun on 3rd and long. Kosar gets some time but overthrows the intended receiver Langhorn. And Langhorn was well covered. Jerry Gray was there. And a flag down on the play back at the line of scrimmage in the backfield.
Okay. Illegal use of hands, number 74, offense. Penalty declined, 4th down.
That's Paul Farron, the left tackle. And so it didn't really matter. They got to punt it anyway.
What the Browns are doing now, Tim, with their offensive linemen, when they go into pass protection, Coach Schaffner told us they want to punch out. You know, instead of stepping back and accepting the defensive line rush, you're stepping up there and bang, hitting them, trying to stop the defensive line at the line of scrimmage. That time, Farron got his hands out.
Wagner's punt, a good one to the 40-yard line of the Rams and brought back by Henley to midfield. A 45-yard punt. Eddie Johnson made the tackle. 7:38 to go, first half.
Eddie Johnson also on the tackle.
Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium. The Rams off to a good start in the first half, and Everett having a good day so far, 9 of 12 and 80 yards in that time of possession key.
Well, it is critical because Coach Robinson told us last night we want to be able to control the clock, get a good running game going. Of course, that's how you win in this league. But 7 minutes and 13 seconds on that last drive, the pass to Holohan, that indicates again the Rams are in control of this game.
And that pass incomplete, intended for Del Pino, mainly because Everett was hit at the time he delivered the ball. The intended receiver was wide open, but the Browns with a good rush made contact on Everett as he released the ball. Burnett and Clay Matthews. Matthews getting to blitz, something you'd like to do more often. So Everett pounded on the arm, and he had hit 5 in a row until that pass.
Well, that's what you have to do, Tim, when you're down, and the Browns are down right now. They have to get something started. You do that with your defense, and the best way to do it was with blitzes. So a guy like Matthews out there who's an excellent blitzer, let him go. Put heat on the quarterback.
Midfield on second down. They go to Gaston Green, and he has close to a first down at the 40-yard line of Cleveland. Felix Wright made the tackle. Rams showed pass and then threw the little half Statue of Liberty play. And it'll be probably just short by about a football. John Robinson will feel a little better about his team's performance thus far in this game. It's been a long, tough year for both of these organizations. Two playoff teams, high hopes for them. And it is third down and about a football, and they bring in Vern Brostick, the #1 pick from Washington, and move Love out as an extra blocker at tight end. Cleveland Gary, he has the ball and a first down. And Gary breaks loose, nearly crawled out of the pack and got to the 31-yard line. Ball stripped away from him, but after play was whistled dead. Mark Harper tripped him up.
What an impressive run, though, Tim, by Cleveland Gary. I mean, he was determined to get that yardage, and even though he was hit at the line of scrimmage, it was fairly well blocked at the point of attack. But once he exploded through there, that was one of the things that Coach Robinson said he really impressed him about Gary. You know, when he hits the line of scrimmage, it explodes, you know, and gosh, we saw a good example of it that time.
And 49 rushing yards to only 12 for the Browns, so Gary and Gaston Green have been doing the job so far in that department. First down from the 32. Everett wants to throw. Sideline for Holohan, and he's got it.
Everett's pass complete to beat Holohan.
Wright made the tackle. And a gain of 7 on the play. Well, let's call it a 6-yard pickup.
6-yard pickup, again, number 81, Pete Holohan, who's, again, one of these clutch-type receivers. Again, not real fast, not big, not strong, just reliable. Again, he works to the outside, finding the open spot in the defense for another catch. Coach Robinson said that Holohan has the best hands of any receiver on the squad. And, we're seeing a good example of it today.
Second down and 5. Green, and not much there as slicing in Anthony Pleasant, one of the 2 rookie defensive ends. The Browns, I think, can grow with these 2 young defensive ends, but of course they're getting baptisms of fire, and their rookie season's having to start. He's out of Tennessee State, #2 pick this year. Third down and 4. And the Browns send on 2 extra defensive backs, Blaylock and Stephen Braggs. Out come linebackers Grayson and Mike Johnson. Tony Lomack in as a receiver. And a quick release to Holohan again, and he's got another first down to the 15-yard line. Pete Holohan owns the Browns in this first half. Braggs made the stop.
Well, Tim, what's happened is that the Browns are so concerned about taking away the Rams' wide receivers, Henry Ellert and Willie Anderson, that they're sort of doubling those 2 outside people. When that happens, you're going to find you have some opportunity to work inside to a back coming out of the backfield or you're tied in. So Holohan right now is the #1 receiver for the Rams because he's the guy who's working one-on-one.
And wide open out of the backfield is Green. Touchdown, Gaston Green.
This is what I was talking about. When you concentrate on trying to take away the wide receivers, you can hit the tight end, or a back coming out of the backfield. Now watch Gaston Green swing out of here. There is no one in sight because they're concerned about trying to take away number 80, Ellert, out there, and Gaston Green just walks into the end zone.
A 16-yard touchdown pass, Everett's second of the afternoon. And the Rams open a lead now here in the first half at Cleveland Stadium. Lansford's point after will make it 17-3. The Rams on top.
17, the Browns 3.
Well, in addition to NFL football, on Saturday we've got the Army-Navy game as our coverage of CFA college football continues. It'll be the 91st meeting between the traditional rivals, and it begins with college football today, Saturday at 2 Eastern here on CBS Sports. Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa will be along to start the festivities. And a line drive kickoff by Lansford is fielded by Metcalf. And Metcalf gets out over the 25-yard line before being driven back. Met there by Michael Stewart. And we'll be back at Cleveland Stadium in a moment. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium, and if the Browns were going to show some new character after the blast by Kosar last week, this would be the time to do it, because they are now down 17-3 here in the second quarter. First down at their own 25-yard line. Short drop by Kosar, and he's too high for Webster Slaughter on first down. 50 yards in 7 plays for the Rams on their last touchdown. 3 more minutes off the clock, 3:43. And Green, a 16-yard touchdown pass. There he is, number 44. And a strike from Jim Everett. 10. And Kosar nailed again. The ball loose, picked up by Kevin Mack. And if that is this time, apparently they're going to call it a fumble and advanced by Kevin Mack.
Doug Reed is the man who does the damage this time from the left end position. You'll see number 93 show right away. Again, taking a very aggressive, but no one touches him. Greg Ricosi, the guard there, looks inside to pick up his man. Tony Jones, the tackle on the right side, looks outside, and Doug Reed comes through scot-free. No one on the offensive line touched him. Tim, when you have a defensive lineman down on the ball, the line of scrimmage, an offensive lineman must account for them on every single play.
Play is being reviewed.
They're reviewing it.
I don't know. That's a fumble. I mean, they can't.
The play stands as ruled. Third down.
Watch this play, though. Again, the number 93, Doug Reed, comes right through, and he's got a tackle in front of him and a guard next to him, and neither one of them touch him. It's like they didn't know who was going to pick him up on their blocking assignment. If you're not sure, and you're the tackle, and you have a man right in front of you, block it.
Look at 91.
Third down. Kosar gets a first down strike off the left side to Webster Slaughter. Perfect pass. And a good catch by Slaughter down on his knees. So the Browns move it upfield. And they stay with a no-huddle offense here. Time winding down in this first half. Trying to get some more points on the board. And Brian Brennan holds on, but takes a tough shot. Gain of about 7.
What you do here, Tim, when you go into this kind of an offensive scheme, it's a 2-minute offense. The quarterback will call 2 plays in the huddle if he's in the huddle, or he'll call a play at the line of scrimmage, as Kosar is doing right now. The Browns like to audibilize a lot anyway, because he's such a bright quarterback. So he's calling the play at the line, and here we go, trying to conserve time on the clock.
2nd and 2. And that's complete to Brennan again for another Brown first down to the Rams' 48-yard line. Very critical offensive situation for Cleveland. They really have to score here to avoid being blown out in this game. If they get on the board to cut it to 17-10 or even 17-6, suddenly things are different. 2 minutes remaining.
With the WLTF second quarter selection.
Well, the canines in the kennel haven't had much to cheer about so far, but the Browns are on the move now with 2 minutes to go. First half. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross here at Cleveland Stadium. They still have 3 timeouts to play with here, and they have the ball at the 49 of the Rams. Kosar in the shotgun here on first down. 4 wideouts. Handoff inside to Mack, and the Rams responded well. Kevin Green waiting for the ball carrier along with Bill Hawkins, the #1 pick a year ago out of Miami. Been bothered with a bad knee. 2nd down and 7. Kosar, low liner intended for Langhorn, too low.
The Rams are going to that big nickel defense again, Tim, with the 6 defensive backs on the field. And talking to Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, I said, aren't you afraid that when you run that defense, they're going to run at you, because it's vulnerable to the run? He said, well, You know, the way we've been playing pass defense, we'd like to have them run it, but that defense has been very effective for them. Shut down the 49ers last week, and it seems to be giving the Browns some problem right now, even though they've had all week to work on it. So Fritz is still pulling tricks out of his hat.
Green left limping after the last play. Kevin Green, Brian Smith is in to replace him, the second-year man from Auburn. Third down. Wilshire gets some time, and the sideline is open to Slaughter. Slaughter coming back on Jerry Gray has a first down for the Browns to the 26-yard line, a 20-yard gain. Flag on the play, however. And it would appear to be against Cleveland, and the disappointed Kosar and company will back up.
Illegal motion, 74 offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
That's Paul Farron, the left tackle, number 74.
It's really too bad because they have everything going here in the 4 wide receiver offense. There's Farron, the man who was in motion illegally, but had everything, catch and everything, but the penalty nullified the play.
Third down along 11 for the Browns, inside their own 50 now, their own side of the 50. Kosar, and a linebacker, Wiltshire, and a flag down behind the play. Interference apparently signaled against Henley. And Wiltshire saying, I tipped that ball. Once I've tipped it, there shouldn't be any interference.
He's right. Let's see what they called here.
There is no foul. The forward pass was first touched by a defensive player before the contact. By definition, there is no pass interference. Fourth down.
We should give Wiltshire a black and white striped shirt because he's absolutely right on this play. Once this ball is touched by a defender, anything goes. He almost comes up with an interception there, so the pass interference penalty is off because Wiltshire made a heads-up play.
Fourth down, Wagner into punt. Now that's a killer drive for the Browns right there to not be able to get some points with this first half winding down. Line drive punt taken on a fair catch by Henley at the 17-yard line of the Rams. 1:13 to go. The Rams will have the ball again. Well, next Sunday, doubleheader action on CBS with Minnesota at the Giants and the 49ers at Cincinnati. Our late games will have the Bears at Washington. Some of you will see the Saints and the Rams. That's a key NFC West matchup, and it all starts with the NFL today. The last word before the kickoff. Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time. Season winding down. Every game more and more important with these playoff spots. Wide opener.
Where will you be next weekend?
Next weekend, we will be in Los Angeles.
That's
watching
right.
the Rams and the Saints.
That's right, it's ours.
And New Orleans still very much in the playoff mix. Rams not mathematically out, although they have effectively written themselves off. They're just playing for pride and to show that they have skills that they thought they had when the season began. Holdouts, injuries, usual things that trouble NFL teams, setting them back. Buford McGee with a good piece of running for the Rams out to the 25-yard line. Burnett and Gash made the tackle on him. And leaves 2nd and 2. McGee had an effective game last week against the 49ers. Not a marquee player, but a handy guy who knows the Ernie Zampese offense brought over from San Diego.
It's like the Rams are content to let the clock run out, Tim. They had 3 timeouts on the board, and they're going in the huddle, calling running plays. So with just 40 seconds left to go in the half, I guess they're just going to let it run out.
Second down, Gaston Green, and Green gets out to the 33-yard line. 20 seconds and counting down for the Los Angeles Rams. The lights are on now at Cleveland Stadium as the afternoon advances and the clouds start to come in, but it's still a pretty pleasant day for December in Cleveland, but not pleasant on the scoreboard for the Browns and their fans. And some boos will send the Browns to their locker room.
Really going to be a big test for the Rams, though, or the Browns, Tim. Can they come back?
So at halftime, the score, the Los Angeles Rams 17, the Cleveland Browns 3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. Isotoner gloves for men, the perfect gift because they're the perfect fit. And by Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. Magnavox, smart, very smart. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. McDonald's, you know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by Xerox, the document company.
Tim Ryan with Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium, and not too happy canines in the kennel down there in the dog pound at Municipal Stadium here in Cleveland, because their team is down 17-3. The visiting Rams on top, trying to get to 5 victories against 7 losses on the season. And Irv, you have to be impressed with the command of the Rams in the first half, and you have to wonder about the effort Bernie Kosar was talking about in terms of the Browns.
Well, talking about the Rams, Tim, it looks like that momentum they built last week against San Francisco is carried over into this game. But the Browns are reaching, I think, a critical phase right now in terms of the morale on their ball club. You know, the kind of things that Kosar talked about last week about the guys not giving 100%. If you lose and things fall apart, it causes a lot of problems on the ball club. If you win, you come back and say the guy was a hero and a team leader and everything. So right now, they have a lot of questions to answer. Can they come back here?
Well, you can see it in the first half. They were dominated by the Los Angeles Rams. 12 first downs to only 4 by Cleveland. And outgained in every department and on the clock, where the Rams just were able to grind it out when they had to and come up with a couple of big pass plays as well. 20 minutes and 9 seconds of possession time. And Jim Schaffner after the game last week said he didn't think the Browns would lose another game. Mainly he was encouraged by their second half effort and the losing cause against Miami. They actually outscored the Dolphins 10-3, and he thought that that was a real good sign that the spirit was there. They practiced well this week, and we saw the team on Friday at practice here. They seem to be in a good frame of mind, but they have a mountain to climb now. Lansford kicks it off. Metcalf, and he's got some running room. Bursting up the middle. Good field position to the 36-yard line. Now, this game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Cleveland Browns, and the National Football League is prohibited. Kosar's first half numbers: 6 of 13 for 79 yards. And Michael Stewart in on the tackle of the running back Metcalf on the first play. Is being helped to the sideline. Looks a little woozy.
Yeah, I've been in that situation many times, Tim. Looks like he was knocked a little woozy and perhaps a slight concussion.
There's Metcalf getting about 3 yards out near the 40-yard line. Newman and Stams on the stop for the Rams. We've seen a mix of their defenses, from Fritz Schirmer not using that big nickel, as he calls it, as frequently as he did against the 49ers, but they have shown it during this first half, or during the first half just completed. Kevin Green, who left a little shaken up at the end of the first half, and notice back out there now. Here's Kosar off quickly, intended for Metcalf, incomplete. On the coverage, Darrell Henley, number 20. Kosar sailed that a little too high for Metcalf. Third down and 7. Temperatures dropping here at Cleveland Stadium as the afternoon advances.
They would normally go into a 4 wide receiver set in this situation. That's what they're doing right now. 4 wide receivers, and the Rams would counter with their big nickel defense. But we saw Stewart go out a few minutes ago, a little woozy. He's one of the key guys in that defense. He's down on the field now.
And the pass intended for Slaughter, broken up by Henley. Good defensive play by Darrell Henley. Henley coming off a hip injury, off injured reserve. Well, now here down on the Browns sideline, not quite sure what, there's a little scuffle going on here, and you see Perry here talking to Joins, Michael Dean Perry.
Well, Michael Dean has been very vocal, along with Kosar, about making sure we get 100% effort out of people, and I wonder what he was talking to Joins about.
Wagner's punt comes down at the 26-yard line. Henley eludes the first man and then is dropped at the 32-yard line by Eddie Johnson. A 35-yard punt. Well, if the playoffs were today, here's how things would look. The Giants, Chicago, and San Francisco would be the division champs. The Eagles, Green Bay, and Washington would be in. Of course, we know the playoffs are not today. And much of this will go down to the final afternoon with the extra wild card. Here's the other team still in the picture. The Vikings. New Orleans will be at the Rams next week. We'll be there for that game. Dallas still in it, along with the Rams, Detroit, and Tampa Bay.
Out of all those wild card contenders, Tim, right now the Minnesota Vikings are playing top-flight football. They're really on a roll.
Henley a little shaken up on that last play after making a good defensive maneuver to break up the pass. First down, Rams at their own 32-yard line. On the punt return, I should refer to and it is up to the 42-yard line for Robert Del Pino. It'll be just short of a first down.
It's really funny how little things affect a game plan and how you approach things. But Mark Harper is filling in for Frank Minifield. And Minifield would normally be playing that left corner position. He's an all-pro defensive back out now with a heel injury, and Harper has to do the job there. And the Rams, frankly, have been picking on him today.
Second and a yard. Inside goes Buford McGee, and he has the first down. Rams to the 45-yard line. And Michael Stewart, we are told, does indeed have a possible concussion, and not sure that he'll be returning to the game.
Normally, Tim, if a player comes up with a concussion or a possible concussion, they would leave him out. You don't want to take a chance with an injury like that and make sure he's absolutely cleared up and have him checked out and not take any chance with it. Particularly when you're winning a game like this, he's pretty much in hand.
First down, Rams. Everett again with time, trying to hit Lomax. Ellard make it, number 80, Henry Ellard, and a little overthrown.
Henry Ellard told me before the game, during the pregame warm-up, he's going about 85% right now. He felt he could go ahead and run full speed. And you can see what Everett has done so far in hitting his various receivers, Tim. The wide receivers in the first half, he threw 8 times, completed 6 outside, basically to Ellard and Willie Anderson. And then going to those running backs 4 out of 5 times, and his tight ends, Houlihan, 2 for 2. So he's done a good job of distributing the ball to all of his receivers. Makes it tough for the defense to key on somebody.
Second and 10. Cleveland Gary. A good hole up the middle for him. 7-yard pickup. Mike Johnson, the middle linebacker, their leading tackler, 93 tackles coming into the game, made the stop there. He had 12 last week against Miami.
I told this last night that give me the ball enough times and I'll make some big plays. I said, how would you rank yourself now, compare yourself to the back? I said, well, I have my own running style, but I admired guys like Walter Payton and some of the things he did, and he's a real history buff, I guess, in terms of great running backs in the league.
Third down and 3, and a little looper out there to Del Pino, and Del Pino has a first down. Rams. Inside the 30-yard line of Cleveland, Thane Gash, the safety, got him there.
Tim, one of the things the Browns did when they made the coaching change was try to simplify things. Now, their pass coverages are fairly basic. This time, Robert Del Pino coming out of the backfield, normally picked up by a linebacker over there. No one shows until Thane Gash, the defensive back, makes a play. And that's the second time we've seen that during the course of the game. Gaston Green ran in for a touchdown after receiving the ball on that side, going strong side, and no one picked him up. So I'm wondering if those linebackers there know what their responsibilities are.
Everett for Ellard. Good catch by Henry Ellard. And another Ram first down to the 12-yard line. Beating Gash and Claiborne on that play. Rams rolling again here early in the second half.
That was a good catch for a lot of reasons. First of all, he ran in there with good acceleration. Remember, he had that hamstring pull. Now watch him leave his feet and go for this ball. It takes a lot of effort to do this. Ellard recklessly goes in there and makes a key catch. So apparently that hamstring is not a problem for him today.
Henry Ellard closing in on Tom Fears for the club receiving record. We saw Fears at halftime, that old highlight from the '51 championship game, winning touchdown against the Browns. Everett again, good protection, and it is caught complete by Ellard. Keeping his feet in bounds, the old pro down at the 2-yard line. Claiborne on the coverage. Watch this one.
Watch it indeed. Now, Claiborne again is coming to the game with a groin pull, Timmy. It didn't work out very much this week because of the injury. And Ellard taking him in the end zone, good comeback pattern. Once you make your break, come back to the ball so the defensive back doesn't have a chance to break up the play. Ellard again for a key catch.
And Henry Ellard is now the all-time Ram reception leader with 401 catches over his career. And that's pretty distinguished company that he has just passed there. Of course, Fears, the man he had to beat, but ahead of the likes of Hirsch and Snow. And an injury down. The Brown player is down at the 20-yard line. Unable to identify him as yet, but we will when we return to Cleveland Stadium in a moment. David Grayson, the injured Browns player, at the sideline getting attention, replaced by Eddie Johnson in the goal line defense. First and goal, Rams threatening to blow it open here early in the second half. Cleveland Gary, little trouble with the handoff, but he has a touchdown. Well, Gary, who dribbled one into the end zone last week against San Francisco, nearly coughed another one up here as the exchange between Everett and Gary a little loose.
He almost dribbled this one in again, too. Now, watch number 43 now when Everett hands the ball off to him. He said in college he never had trouble with fumbles, but I seem to be having difficulty here because I look straight ahead. See that ball almost bounce off his slide pad, but continuing straight ahead in full stride, regained control of the ball and squeezed in for the 1-yard touchdown.
Lansford for the point after. And a 24-3 lead for the visiting Rams here in a silent Cleveland Stadium. "67 yards and 8 plays for yet another touchdown for the Rams. 3:31 off the clock. Cleveland Gary, who makes all of his touchdown runs exciting, has had 8 in the last 5 games, 14 touchdowns on the season. Short kickoff returned by the linebacker Eddie Johnson to the 37-yard line. Gary, who dribbled one in for a touchdown against the 49ers and nearly dropped this one, but got into the end zone alive.
You know, talking to him yesterday, Tim, I shook hands with him. He has real soft hands. You hear people talk about receivers having soft hands, but his hands are sort of like a sponge, you know, really soft.
Now there's Cleveland Gary, who's having himself a fine season despite his bout with fumbles. He says he doesn't consider himself normally a fumbler. It hasn't been a problem in his college career at Miami. Face mask penalty against the Rams will advance the ball to the 42-yard line for Hillsar and company.
And right now, Tim, Gary is fumbling about once every 20 carries, which is a little high for a running back.
Hillsar is trying to get it to the tight end up the middle, Ozzie Newsome, and it was broken up by Larry Kelm diving in there to knock it away, number 52. The Bears have moved back in front of Detroit, 14-10 in the third quarter. And look at this, the Eagles coming back on Buffalo at halftime. Cincinnati and a big one against Pittsburgh on top. Very erratic Bengals team this year. And 10. Hillsar out. Kevin Mack, and good defensive coverage by the Rams. Coming up quickly, Kelm and number 26, Anthony Newman, who's in there for the injured Michael Stewart at safety. So there's no gain on the play. He got him right at the line of scrimmage. In fact, loss of about a half a yard.
This game was really shifted, though, Tim. One of the guys that the Rams hoped to get out of the game was number 34, Kevin Mack. And now with this big lead, the Browns were forced to put the ball in the air and throw every down, which is what the Rams like to have them do.
Saw Jim Schofter and Zeke Bratkowski wearing the headset. And coaching staff. Hillsar flush now and goes to Webster. Slaughter has a first down. Good alert play by both Slaughter and the quarterback, Hillsar. And a first down to the 46-yard line of the Rams. Now the Rams bring back their base defense, and some of this Browns crowd trying to get into it here, exhorting the Clevelanders to keep it moving.
Well, the racket in the stadium, Tim, is because they finally got a first down, so we're happy to see that the Browns offense is getting on track here again.
Only 4 first downs in the first half. Shotgun. Kosar right on the money. First down to the 30-yard line. Reggie Langhorne made a good catch and paid a heavy price.
That was really a big-time play, Tim. Nice throw by Kosar. Terrific catch by Langhorne, because he knew Vince Newsom would be somewhere around the ball. And wow, what a wallop.
No huddle. They keep it going here at the 30-yard line. Kosar has that one tipped. Trying to get it out to Kevin Mack. And it was Frank Stams who got a hand on it. Linebacker number 50. He and Larry Kelm both doing a good job on the short pass defense situations. There you see owner Art Modell of the Browns on the far right of your screen right there. And it's been painful for him for this entire season. A team that's had so much success over the years, to see them stumble so badly as they have this year. On 2nd and 10. Kosar going deep to the corner for Metcalf, incomplete. Good coverage on him by Bobby Humphrey, number 48. Stride for stride and looking back to the ball.
This is nothing but speed on speed, Tim, and you're right. Bobby Humphrey did it exactly right. The ball going up to Metcalf, number 21. The key here for the defensive back is not to look back until the receiver does. When Metcalf looks back for the ball, that's when Humphrey turned. He's at good inside position. Not completely down. That's a good defensive play.
From the 30-yard line, 3rd down. At 24-3, suffice to say, the Browns need this. 6 backs defensively. Wiltshire moving into the middle for the Rams, and Kevin Green's 3rd sack of the day, 4th Rams sack of the afternoon. Well, Kevin Green wanting to get this kind of pressure on from his favorite left side position, and he comes in clean, Irv.
Yeah, well, see, Tony Jones, the right tackle there, is responsible for blocking him. Now, what he has to do is set up, invite Green in there, then make contact. You can see Art Modell, the owner of the club, wasn't happy with what he saw. I really don't understand, Tim. Tony Jones just didn't make contact at all. He was responsible for the in man on the line there. Set up, make contact with him. Let Green run past scot-free.
A flag down at the line of scrimmage, and Kosar in pursuit is pulled down again by Kevin Green. Now, Green that time was blocked initially, but got loose from his man, stayed on the case, and got Kosar. But the penalty is apparently against L.A.
See what Green gives you, though, Tim. He's big enough to play a down lineman's position, so they have him sometime line up as a defensive end, even though he's a linebacker.
Offside, number 91 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, still 4th down.
And when you jump off sides, you ever forget a chance of getting to the quarterback. He's lined up in the neutral zone. You see his head is in there near the ball. It's just slightly offsides, but he has enough quickness to bounce back outside. Now this time, Tony Jones does make contact with him, trying to slow him down, but Green continues to pursue and bring Kosar down. But he's lined up in the neutral zone. He has to be back off the ball before the ball sniffed.
4th down, still 9 to go, even with the penalty yardage. Now at the 30-yard line of the Rams. This time Kosar with time for Mack, and he has a 1st down. Good effort by Kosar and Kevin Mack, and they're down to the 18-yard line of the Rams. Mack with 29 catches coming into the game. I have the feeling about this young man that he's going to have a great career ahead of us. Just 25 years of age out of Clemson. His problems last year with drug conviction, full year out of football, and he's come back awfully well. Kosar deep to the end zone for Slaughter, touchdown! Well, the Browns bounce back from adversity in that drive, Irv.
Number 84, Slaughter, is lined up on the left side of your screen. You can't quite see him in here. Once the ball is snapped, what he's going to do is kind of run a sharp corner pattern. He's upfield and then breaks to the outside. There's a lot of room there for the ball to be thrown, and Kosar places the ball in there nicely. Henley didn't have a chance.
Jerry Corrick's point after is good. And so the Browns get themselves back into it here. 24-10 we stand in the third quarter. Tim Ryan, Irv Cross here at Cleveland Stadium. 6:39 to go, third quarter, and the Rams on top 24-10. The Browns closing it up with a 57-yard drive in 9 plays, and Webster Slaughter catching a 17-yard pass from Kosar. Gaston Green having difficulty with the kickoff at the 10-yard line, but now breaks loose, and only the kicker to stop him. The ball is loose. The Browns have it. But it's going to be ruled down. Rams football at the 41 of L.A. 30-yard return. So often, Irv, you see that on a kickoff when it's bobbled. Suddenly the guy makes a good return anyway.
So what happens is it allows the coverage team to come down deeper than they really want to. So now he breaks out of there in pretty good shape. Now the question is, was he down before that ball came out? Oh, no doubt about it. He's down. The ball comes out of there. The ground can't cause a fumble. So the Rams retain possession.
And they have it at their own 41-yard line. Sending McGee in motion to block for Gaston Green. Flag at the line of scrimmage, but an aroused Cleveland defense buries the play. Anthony Pleasant and Van Waiters. Waiters in the linebacking spot, normally occupied by David Grayson, who left with an injury. Offside call against the Cleveland Browns, so the good defensive effort wiped out, and a 5-yard pickup goes to the Rams.
The right side of the defensive line was off. Michael Dean Perry and Anthony Pleasant were both called offside. What happens is, Tim, you're so anxious to make a big play defensively. Those linemen want to get as close to the ball as they possibly can to get off on a quick count. And again, it looked like they might have lined up in the neutral zone.
Rams send Flipper Anderson out to the left side, Eller to the right. Green, and he gets about 4 yards to leave a second and a yard at midfield. Michael Dean Perry made the stop. Gaston Green getting a fair amount of work today, playing behind Cleveland Gary, but as Robinson says, the explosive back we have, he said there's a guy that if he gets in the open, I mean, he can really move it. It doesn't have quite the power of the inside rushing ability that Cleveland Gary does. 82 yards of rushing, only 19 for Cleveland. And of course, now the Browns have just got to throw the ball. They're down 24-10. First, they have to get it. That is Buford McGee for another Rams first down to the 44-yard line. Van Waiters on the stop with Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson also there for Cleveland.
There's John Robinson, who very calmly handling some of the L.A. media discussions about his future. Has another year to go after this one, and inevitably when the team was 3-7, some reporter asked him at a regular weekly press conference, well, what do you think, is your job in jeopardy? He said, hey, you're 3-7, I guess everybody's job's in jeopardy. But naturally that got a life of its own and all kinds of speculation about what will happen to him next year. But Robinson has been a successful coach in LA. Good defensive play by Harper, batting away the pass from Everett, intended for Flipper Anderson.
That was only a big-time play, Tim, because it's very difficult to throw a long sideline pattern like this while having a defensive back get involved. It's a really long toss, but Everett really guns it. But number 23, Mark Harper, comes up with a big-time effort there, knocking that away. What he did, though, Tim, when he lined up on Flipper, it looked to me as though he was sort of shading him slightly inside, just let him take that outside move and came inside and knocked it away.
Harper just came off injured reserve last week, been out for 10 games with a shoulder injury. Draw play. Buford McGee breaks a tackle and has a first down at the 30-yard line. Gash and Wright, the safety, stop him there.
It's second and long, Tim, so the Browns are in the defense they consider a pass-oriented defense. You see the linebackers here open here? I call that like a 44 look, but the Rams take advantage of that by faking a pass action with a draw, having their offensive lineman set up, making it look like pass. Not at all. They hand the ball off to McGee, and Gary pops that up the middle for a first down. So the idea here, I guess, is to run when you think you're going to pass when you think you're going to run. So they'll probably throw here on first down.
And they do. Quickly out to Anderson. Anderson tries a spin move and is stopped in the attempt, but not before he picks up another 8 or 9 yards. Gash and Harper this time combined to tie him up. Everett, very sharp, is now 18 of 23.
See, the thinking here, Tim, really is to get mismatches. So if the Browns have a run defensive team on the field, you throw the ball. If they have a pass defensive team on the field, you're running, only because you have physical mismatches when the play is executed. And right now, the Rams really have everything going for them.
2nd and 2. Coaching scoring position again here at the 22. And it's going for Del Pino. Touchdown. Wide open as the linebacker Waiters and the safety Gash seem to be slow to respond to that back out of the backfield.
Tim, we've seen 2 touchdown passes where linebackers should have picked up the first man out of the backfield and didn't do it. This time, number 39, Del Pino, comes out scot-free. Van Waiters, number 50, is responsible for picking him up. Doesn't do it. He's trailing the play by 5 yards. He knows he's supposed to be there. Can't quite get there. The Rams go up with another touchdown.
Looked like Waiters was thinking blitz there, and Del Pino ran right by him by the time he reacted too late. Lansford. And the crowd quiet again here at Cleveland Stadium as the Rams now have a 31-10 lead.
Here's the play that Del Pino just scored. Number 50, as a linebacker responsible for him here, doesn't get off with him. There he is right there. Del Pino comes through scot-free. Van Waiters right now, number 50, is substituting for David Grayson, who went out with an injury, and I think maybe he may have some difficulty with assignments over there, Tim.
Short kickoff is buried at the 30-yard line, so the Browns will have good field position. Scott Galbraith just covered it there. Well, next week, our NFL on CBS coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today. And it's doubleheader day on CBS. You'll see Minnesota at the Giants or the 49ers at Cincinnati in the first games. And then some of you will see the Bears at Washington in game 2 or the Saints at the Rams. You'll be with us next week. It all begins with the last word before the kickoff next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern time. First down, Browns. They go right to the shotgun from their 30-yard line. 4 receivers spread across. Inside, handout. Kevin Mack, and it's not caught by Alvin Wright. He puts the tackle on him, and a flag flies. Holding Browns.
They have had
Holding, number 73, offense. 10 yards, repeat, first down.
Greg Rakosi charged with the hold. And here at Cleveland Stadium, it has been all L.A. Rams. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross watching Los Angeles take a 17-3 halftime lead and expand it to 31-10 with 2 touchdowns to 1 here in the third quarter. And the one just scored, Everett to Robert Del Pino, a 21-yard pass. First and 20 at the 20. Screen for Mack. Fine effort all the way to the 45-yard line and a first down, Cleveland. Newsom steered him out. 25-yard gain.
Kevin Mack's a big back, Tim, but he's also a pretty good pass receiver. This is here's Mack right now set up in his fullback position. He'll come in here, bury himself for a couple of counts, and then come out for the screen. The Browns are a very good screen and draw team. This is a key play here. Mack making the reception now becomes a ball carrier. Now once he gets upfield and is in the open, it's just Mack against the defense, and in most cases he wins.
On first down, Kosar flushed and throws a low bullet, but it's incomplete. Bouncing it in front of Webster. Slaughter made a good effort to get down for it, but the ball hit the ground. So it's 2nd and 10.
Tim, the thing that's amazing to me, though, is the Rams are putting an awful lot of pressure on Kosar with a 3-man rush in their base defense. And now, in this nickel, they have 4 linemen up there on the line of scrimmage. And Kevin Green, number 91, is a linebacker, is on the line of scrimmage and comes in as a stand-up lineman. But they're only rushing 4 people, and that offensive line should be able to pick it up. But the Rams have put an awful lot of heat on Kosar with just that basic pass rush.
See Tampa ahead of Atlanta in that game. Chris Miller, the Atlanta quarterback, is out with a shoulder injury. Kosar, deep, cut. Langhorne to the 15-yard line of the Rams. Superb pass from Kosar to Reggie Langhorne. Henley and Terrell had the coverage.
The most difficult pass for a receiver to catch, Tim, is the ball directly over your head. If you're inside or outside, you can get an angle. But this is a tough catch. Langhorne concentrating on the ball. You lose it just for a split second, but he has a great sense of where the ball is and comes down with a terrific catch. That is awesome. That's a really terrific play.
39-yard pass play, and the Browns quickly downfield, go right to the shotgun again. And they may have run out of time. No, they stopped to have a look at the replay as to whether he was inbounds or not when he caught the ball. There is Langhorne who made that great catch.
In our initial shot, from what I could see up here, it looked as though he was inbounds, and you couldn't tell whether he had the ball or not, though, because his back was to us. We'll take a look at it again. Langhorne, number 88, to the top side of your screen, makes a terrific catch. Again, the ball is directly overhead. You can't see it, Tim, for a split second. When it gets close to you, about 5 yards away, you lose sight of the ball.
The play
but he
stands as ruled.
Sure, that's a catch. Really, a tremendous catch. If you ever played catch with somebody, having thrown the ball directly over your head, and you have to look back and try to pick it up, it's very hard to do that. Langhorne just came up with a beauty.
So it's first down, and Metcalf, an inside handoff from the motion position, picks up 4 yards. It's down to about the 11-yard line. Kevin Green and Newsom, along with Peel, in on the stop. And the ball spotted just inside the 12-yard line. Apparently the replay officials, Chuck Everling, thought maybe the ball had been stripped from him. What they were checking. Kosar to Slaughter, and Slaughter pushed out short of the first down by about a yard and a half. Jerry Gray pushed him out. Time winding down, 3rd quarter. There's the veteran Pro Bowler Jerry Gray coming off a knee injury that's still bothering him a little bit. Pulls his way for a first down to the 2-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal, Cleveland. Larry Kelm on the tackle. Kosar calling the play without a huddle.
They call this check with me, Tim. He's at the line of scrimmage. He'll call a play from the line. He better hurry if he's losing time.
Yeah, he's telling the dog pound inmates to quiet down so his team can hear the signals. Has time, can't find a man. Now Mack, touchdown.
This is a terrific drive, Tim. The Browns are down, but no, not out. Bernie Kosar, staying in the pocket. Cooley finally finds number 34, Kevin Mack. We call that a check down, where you come inside the offensive guards and sort of nestle in there, find the open spot. Koshar found his man for the score, so the Browns come roaring back.
Jim Schaffner liked what he saw on that drive. Corrick for the point after has it good. And so the Browns reduce the margin with 1 second left here in the third. 70 yards in 7 plays, their best drive of the football game, to close the margin to 31-17. There's Kevin Mack, who made a good catch and a good move. Well, earlier we saw the NFC playoff picture. Let's take a look at the American Conference. Miami, Houston, and Kansas City would be the division champs if the playoffs began today. Buffalo, the Raiders, and Cincinnati would be the wild cards. And as you can see, 5 serious contenders still alive in the wild card picture.
Yeah, and out of that group, Tim, with the contenders, Pittsburgh seems to be the hot team again. Their young club has come together and they're very impressive.
We mentioned a few minutes ago that in the Atlanta-Tampa Bay game, the fine young quarterback of the Falcons, Chris Miller, left with a shoulder injury. Scott Campbell has come in that game. Bob Galliano has come in to replace Rodney Peete in the Lions-Bears game. And apparently Rodney Peete in his first game back after several weeks out with an injury just couldn't move the club, so they've gone back to Galliano today. Well, there's ample time for the Browns to come back here, a full quarter, but they need to keep up the kind of play we just saw, 70 yards in 7 plays. Touchdown to Mack. Wagner picks it off. Line drive shot, takes a good bounce. Handled by Green. And Green will go down at the 25-yard line. So that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 31, the Cleveland Browns 17. Our coverage continues after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium. Bernie Kosar's second touchdown pass of the game, a 3-yarder to Kevin Mack, brought the Browns back to 31-17. And the Rams now will start from their own 24-yard line on first down. Everett sideliner for Ellard. He has it complete. And a first down, Los Angeles at their own 40. Everett with 3 touchdown passes so far, 18 of 24 passing. Now make it 19 of 25.
I saw Ellard and Everett shake hands because that was a real finely tuned pass route that worked out real well. And this is what the Browns did the last time they had the ball. 7 plays, 70 yards in 3 minutes, and came up with a 3-yard touchdown pass. The thing that impressed me about that drive, Tim, is that the Browns were down and it looked like they might have been knocked out of the ball game, but they just fought right back. An impressive 70-yard drive.
On first down, Cleveland, Gary gets 4. And if you're tracking that Philly-Buffalo game, it has turned into a wild one. It's now 47-23 Buffalo. Here in Cleveland, an interesting stat here that they have not been too good at coming back.
Some of those losses have been blowouts, too, though. I mean, they just completely seem to lose it. And part of the problem has been turnovers. Part of the problem has been mental errors. But according to Coach Schaffner, he's gotten pretty good effort out of his football team.
Second down. Short pass is caught by Buford McGee, who bobbled it and then turned it into a long gainer all the way down to the 33-yard line of Cleveland. Harper finally got him there.
Buford McGee has pretty good hands, but he really makes this exciting. He'd caught 32 passes coming into the ball game here. Number 24 coming out of the backfield on a little swing route. Actually, the ball comes down. Looks like it bounced off his knee. It was a little low pass and regained control of it and came up with a key catch. It's a tough catch. When you get the ball down there around your knees, you're moving forward like that. For those running backs, it's hard to get down there and pick off those passes. But McGee did a pretty good job of handling it.
McGee again. Close to another first down. They have it. Gaping hole in the middle of the line for Buford McGee. Matthews and Grayson made the tackle. Grayson had left earlier with an injury. It'll be 2nd and a yard as they give him 9 on the play.
So far, Tim, we've seen the Rams in this kind of situation throw the football. The pattern has been they throw when they expect them to run and run when they expect them to throw. So here we are, 2nd and short. Many people think it's a giveaway down. They may well go for the whole bundle here.
Everett, and did it hit the ground or not? A diving grab by Willie Anderson. And it is ruled a completion. 15-yard pass play to Willie Anderson.
Yeah, when you're in this part of the field with 2nd and short, you normally have a chance to do something like this. Number 83, Willie Anderson, running up like he's having a deep pattern. Then he kind of stops right here and drives off the defensive back. And you can't really see the picture here, but the defensive back is still taking a bite on the deep pattern. Anderson comes back for it, and Mark Harper, the corner, was burned again.
And a catch all the way, I must say, looking at it on the replay there, as Anderson got down low and kept that ball from hitting the ground. Inside handoff, and that is stuffed at the line. Good play on it by Bukowski. Buford McGee nowhere to go at the line of scrimmage. But the Rams threatening again. 359 yards of offense.
And probably pretty well balanced, too, from the Rams in running and passing. And the Browns, in their 219 yards, obviously most of that's been through the air, and most of it in the second half.
Well, the Browns getting themselves back in on their last drive, a good one with a touchdown pass from Kozar to Mack, but the Rams have responded on the very next series. And wide open out there again is Buford McGee, touchdown. Rams have been killing them with the backs out of the backfield, catching passes all afternoon. McGee and Delpino, Gaston Green.
That's Delpino's 2nd touchdown catch, basically in the same place in the field, inside the 20-yard line. On number 39, you'll see, will go out on the left side of your screen. Number 24, Buford McGee. McGee going on the left side of your screen. The linebacker would normally pick him up. There's no one in view here. And that's the 3rd touchdown pass the Rams have gotten inside the 20-yard line on on linebacker coverages.
Lansford for the point after. But just after it looked like the Browns might get in it, the Rams come right back down the field on the ensuing series and score yet another touchdown. 4 touchdown passes for Everett, and a 38-17 lead for the Rams. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross at Cleveland Stadium, where the Rams have opened up a 38-17 lead just when it looked like the Browns might get back in it. Everett marched him right down the field. What a day he is having. 22 of 28, 4 touchdown passes. He's been murdering them out of the backfield. Buford McGee caught the last one. And Buford McGee, coming off a big game against the 49ers last week, you can see he's a happy guy. Somebody asked him recently why he's still a bachelor. And McGee, who's now 30, said, why haven't I gotten married? I love football. Most women don't. You can get caught up in that do you love me or football stuff. Right now I love football, but I hope to get married in the future. He says his Yorkshire Terrier, who is named Bufy, is currently his wife. He always glad to see me. I like that, says Buford.
Does his Terrier love football? I guess so, huh?
Metcalf. Pushed back to the 15-yard line. Forward progress should give him another couple of yards. Paul Butcher, reserve linebacker for the Rams, made the stop. Well, the NFL season winding down now through the month of December with all the playoff spots still at stake. And next week, our doubleheader action begins with the NFL today, and the Vikings on a rise, as you said, Irv, will be taking on the Giants, who are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. The 49ers, the champs, will be at Cincinnati against the enigmatic Bengals. And game 2 will see the Bears at Washington. Washington beating up on Miami today. And the Saints still in the thick of things. They'll be at the Rams, and clearly the Rams are feeling better about themselves. So a great day of action next week on CBS NFL football. Kozar on first down. And that's complete out to Langhorne for a gain of about 5 near the 20-yard line. Kevin Green dropping off his position there as a sometimes linebacker, sometimes defensive end. That time he's back in coverage and makes the tackle.
Yeah, he's a very versatile defensive player. Even though he's lined up with his defensive linebacker spot there on the outside, you don't know when he's going to rush, when he's going to drop off. And here he comes now on the pass rush.
Kosar for Slaughter. Slaughter trying to get to that marker, but 3 Rams are there to stop him short by about a yard. Darrell Henley made the tackle, along with Frank Stamms, former Notre Dame fullback. Became a linebacker and turned out very well inside now for the Rams. There's Kosar's numbers, 11 to 17. He's doing his job today for the Browns. The Browns have had the ball most of the time.
He's been under pressure quite a bit too, Tim. That pocket's broken down quite often around him, but he's still been able to slip out of there and complete passes.
Kevin Mack runs right into Stamms, but it looks like he may have the first down. On the Browns sideline, Jim Schaffner, the gray-haired man there, in his 3rd game as a head coach here with the Cleveland Browns, says he's starting to like it. That was after last week's game. I don't know how he'll feel after this one. As an interim coach, and Kosar with a left-handed flick to Kevin Mack kept the play alive, and it turned it into about a 4-yard gain. Mike Wilcher had the rush on him, and I think Wilcher thought he had a sack.
Well, Wilcher's probably talking to himself here, Tim, because he's got Kosar by the ankle, grasp but not control. He gets off a completed pass to Kevin Mack.
That was some play by Kosar there. Good reaction by Mack. On 2nd down. Kosar chased by Wilcher again, and he's got a man open. Brennan on the sideline, 1st down. Out to the 46-yard line of Cleveland. The Rams continue to show weakness in pass coverage. It's been their downfall this season.
4th quarter at Soldier Field in Chicago. Bob Galliano, now in a quarterback for the Lions, has all kinds of time. 22 yards to Richard Johnson. And the point after, the Lions have taken the lead on the Bears, 17-14. Back to Rich Stadium.
8 and gave him a 10, and the opposing teams in scoring position. So you have to think more aggressively, even though you have a nice lead here. You're trying to play it safe.
Well, that one overthrown, intended for Slaughter, and whether it was a miscue on the coverage or not, Kosar's calling Slaughter over to talk to him about that one, and to give him the next one.
Now, what Kosar read was that number 20, Darrell Henley, was coming up from his defensive backfield position into the short zone area, and I guess he expected Slaughter to break outside, come inside and break outside and get behind that, and Slaughter didn't react that way, so he had an incomplete pass.
Cincinnati with a chance to move into 1st place in the AFC Central against Pittsburgh. They have the lead. Teams tied with Houston at 6 and 5. 6 and 5 in the AFC Central. 2nd and 10 here. And it's completed to Brennan. A gain of about 5. Newsom made the stop. Vince Newsom. I believe 3rd down, a long 4, we'll call it, for the Browns here, with time winding down in the 4th quarter. A 38-17 Ram lead. Kosar complete again to Brennan. 1st down, Cleveland. The 42-yard line turned into a pitch and catch contest here. Both quarterbacks finding receivers open all over the lot.
Again, the secondary is playing fairly loose. So the linebackers and deep backs are sort of dropping off and giving up that yardage. But now inside near the 40-yard line, I suspect they would begin to tighten up here.
Kosar flush this time, gets it off to Mack, incomplete. Wilcher dropped off to pick up Mack. And that'll be 2nd down. Kevin Mack, 468 yards of rushing coming into the game, 29 catches. Second down from the shotgun. Mack again, just slipping out there, and gets away from Wilcher. 29-yard line. Kevin Mack, a 29-yard gain.
Okay. Number 54, Wiltshire, right here is the man responsible for Mack. Again, this is that big nickel defense the Rams have been running and been successful against San Francisco. Now 54 is responsible for the back. Number 34 on a check down. He's there, but misses the tackle.
Kosar intended for Brennan, incomplete. A good hit on him to make it Langhorne. Langhorne the intended receiver, and Jerry Gray arrived with the ball to break it up. Jerry Gray, when the season began, was hoping that he could play at safety. That's where he feels that he would be best. But when they had injuries to Henley early in the season, they moved Gray back to corner and got Bobby Humphrey in there. Kosar will take off, and he is hauled down at the 6-yard line by Newsom. Zeke Bratkowski trying to get Kosar's attention. Pretty good quarterback in his own time, the man with a hat and a headset.
I think in Kosar's mind, that run, Tim, is what he's talking about in terms of giving everything you have for a winning effort. He's not noted as a running quarterback, but he gave what he had to get positive yardage for his ball club.
On third down, he finds Mack again, and he's close to the goal line, but not in. Newsom and Terrell stopped him just short.
Same principles on the other pass that Mack caught. Again, let the defense drop off. Here the Rams are playing a little more aggressive this time. Here's a dog, number 54, Wiltshire, coming in on a blitz. But when Mack releases from the backfield, you can see Newsom's responsible for him. Not there to make the play.
And touchdown, Kevin Mack. So the Browns with another effective drive close up the margin with 5:12 remaining to play. A point after would make it 38-24.
I would call this drive a big Mack attack. Here he comes right now. Kevin Mack off his right guard. Boy, I tell you, nothing's going to keep him out of the end zone. 230 pounds of power. Browns score again.
Just 2 plays ago, Mack was waving over to the bench looking for a little substitution relief, and they left him out there, and I'm sure he was happy to stay for that one more play. And the point after attempt is wide. Jerry Corrick misses the point after, so it is 38-23.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Irish Spring Deodorant Soap, the Irish never quit. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
Onside kick try by the Browns goes off a Ram player out of bounds. Jerry Corrick was out to try the onside kick. He missed the point after try just moments ago. Talking to Stephen Braggs, who is the guy they're trying to get the ball to, number 36.
Kirk, what he wants to do here, Tim, is get a nice bounce on the ball. Kick it on the ground, roll, and get a high hop. But he didn't quite get it because it's a line drive. Goes right out of bounds. I think the officials are trying to determine whether that ball was touched or not.
Out of bounds, untouched, 5 yards, re-kick.
Sorry.
Untouched. I thought it went off a Ram.
Right, no, it didn't. It went through his arms. It was like a line drive, and they couldn't get possession of it, so they'll be penalized 5 yards and re-kick.
Well, that gives Corrick another try at the onside kick. 38-23, 5:09 remaining to play.
What he wants to do, Tim, is hit the ball high. You kick the football near the top of the ball, so as it comes down, it'll roll, and then get a big hop. And that's what they hope to get. And they have an unbalanced situation here where they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Browns on one side of the ball where they hope to have a chance to recover it. Oh.
And the wind down there, knocking the ball off the tee for Corrick. And that ball didn't come up either. It is fielded by the Rams and is covered at the sideline by Cleveland Gary.
Tim, that's the difference from playing on a grass field and an AstroTurf field. Had they been on a turf surface, that ball would have popped up. But here, it's like a line drive. He hit it high the way he wanted to, and he gets a nice roll. But normally, it'll roll about 5-10 yards or so and then pop up. But it doesn't do that. It stays on the ground, and Rams retain possession.
Good job by Gary to grab that ball where it is, and good field position for the Rams, who are in command. 38-23. They have the football with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left, and they're in Browns territory at the 44-yard line. Rams appear headed to their 5th victory against 7 defeats, and the Cleveland Browns will fall to 2-10. Green gets about 8 yards straight up the middle before Harlan Barnett, number 37, the rookie from Michigan State, made the tackle. '84-yard Cleveland scoring drive, 14 plays, but it took 5:26 off the clock, so that aspect of it hurt them. Mack got the touchdown, and Cork missed the point after. Second down and a long 3, close to 4. Jim Everett has had himself a big day, a field day, you might say. Going deep for Anderson, overthrows that one. Harper on the coverage.
Again, when you win on first down, the way the Rams have done so much today, that the first down they picked up 8 yards. Now you have second and short. You can take a play like that and say, you know, let's go for a home run, see what happens. And you don't get it, you line up. You're still a third and short, and you're in pretty good shape to either pick up the first down with an intermediate pass.
Third down, Rams from the 38 of Cleveland. Play for McGee, and McGee has the first down. I don't think McGee has failed today on those third and short run conversions for the Rams. Gash makes the tackle.
Well, that's one of the things that the Browns wanted to improve on. They improve on their third down conversions, and the Rams have just done it all. They've done a good job on first down, getting a big yardage on first down. Here was what they've done in running the ball. They've gone left 2 times, up the middle 26 times for 112 yards, and to the right side 4 times for 22 yards. Now, all that means to me is that the center and 2 guards, Newberry and Devell Love, are doing a tremendous job controlling the inside of that Browns defense, and that's where Michael Dean Perry is. So that's taking away their big gun.
Another big hole. This time Gaston Green gets down to the 25-yard line. Gash and Grayson and Johnson all in on the stop. And the Browns take a timeout with 3:21 to play. Rams have the ball, second and a long 3. They have the lead, and 3:20 left. And a little extracurricular activity here as Tempers flare down at the line of scrimmage. Meanwhile, the Browns stop the second down play, holding it to about a 2-yard pickup. It'll leave third down and a yard and a half. Browns take another timeout. Rams rushing. Gaston Green has had 12 carries today. That's a lot for him. 55 yards. McGee, 9 carries for 55 yards, and Cleveland Gary, 8 carries for 20 yards. And you can see a happy and relaxed Rams sideline, Coach Robinson and Jim Everett. This victory today will bring them to 5-7 and still in the playoff hunt mathematically. That defense again struggled here today, giving up a lot of points. Last week, their big triumph of the year.
Well, the way they're playing today, though, Tim, Coach Robinson again has to be happy going at the remaining schedule. It looks like he said that if we can play well and win here today, that means our victory over San Francisco last week was not a fluke, and we can build on that. And if we play well throughout the rest of the season, well, then maybe we're a pretty good football team.
New Orleans Saints in there next week. Huge game for them. Cleveland, Gary has a first down. Los Angeles, and then some inside the 15. Clay Matthews came a long way to make the tackle from the other side.
The Rams are just trying to run out the clock, Tim, but they're getting 7 on first down. Now, in this case, 3rd and short, Gary comes up with a big gain, like 7 or 8 yards, and I don't know. It's not lack of effort on Cleveland's part. I guess they're just overmatched. What it amounts to, the Rams' offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage all day long.
The ball at the 15-yard line of the Browns. That is Marcus Dupree with his first carry down to the 10-yard line. And the ball came loose, but play had already been whistled dead before Gash picked it up. And Marcus Dupree looking forward to a full season and a training camp. We've reached the 2-minute warning here at Cleveland Stadium. Rams on top. And here in Cleveland, 2 minutes to play. The Rams cruising now, and chance for more points from the 10-yard line, keeping it on the ground. Marcus Dupree's second carry. His story well documented now, 5 years out of football, getting himself back into shape from 270 pounds and a knee injury, and looking forward to a full season at training camp. And you can see a very unhappy Browns team mixing it up down there. Jackie Slater, I think he's the only regular out there right now.
That's right.
On the line.
Yeah, Coach Robinson has pulled all of his offensive linemen out except that guy right there, Jackie Slater, who's in his 15th season, Tim. And the Cleveland Browns defensive coaches, when they were breaking down the Ram film for this game, said Jackie Slater is the best offensive tackle they've ever seen. He's having a phenomenal year right now. He hasn't lost anything. He's just getting better and better and better and better. What a player he is.
Well, they've got center Doug Smith out there, but they do have Bern Brostek, the rookie, and Joe Malinchik, a backup guard, in getting some action here. As Everett, well, now there's a classy play by the L.A. Rams here. Approaching the goal line, 1:10 to go. John Robinson has never been anything other than classy, and he is just going to count it down here instead of trying to go any deeper against the Browns, who are a beaten team again today. Coordinating producers of the NFL on CBS are Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. Produced by Daniel H. Forer. Directed by Suzanne Smith here today in Cleveland. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer David Winter, executive producer Ted Shaker. So Everett and company will just let this clock go down here with 36 seconds and counting, and the Rams will move to a 5 victory, 7 defeat record. Cleveland falls to 2-10. The Rams will be at home against New Orleans in a game that has them mathematically still alive in the playoff picture. These are the New Orleans Saints. Now this time they actually ran the ball, and now that gets everybody throwing some taped hands at each other.
I really can't imagine at this stage of the game, Tim, the way the score is, that the Timbers would be flaring. I can understand some frustration on the Browns' part not being able to stop the Rams, but this game's over, and let's run it out.
Now Stephen Braggs is down there exhorting those inmates in the dugout.
We have a double foul. Delay of game, offense, personal foul, slugging, number 90 on the defense. In this instance, the major penalty will be penalized. Half the distance, automatic first down.
Well, that is Rob Burnett, the Syracuse rookie, who gets the slugging penalty, and that moves the ball inside the 5. Don't forget our NFL Today postgame show upcoming with scores and highlights. Bring you up to date on all of the important activity in the NFL today. Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw in our New York studios. Well, now let's see what they do here. The Rams might be a little angry at the behavior by the rookie Burnett.
Everett goes down on the knee.
First down, and that's what he does. That ought to do it. Well, some handshaking going on there. It's nice to see that after the tempers flared.
I think the Rams answered a lot of questions for themselves today, too, though, Tim. They came out and looked very impressive right from the very beginning and played a strong game throughout. The Browns, on the other hand, who have a young team with 20 new faces on this football team, find themselves in a position where they're going to have to sort of regroup.
Well, and so the final score here at Cleveland, the Los Angeles Rams 38, the Cleveland Browns 23. A big day for this man, Jim Everett, been under some fire with the lack of the success of the Rams this year, and his own personal stats not up to last year's standard when he was one of the hot quarterbacks, but he had himself a big day here this afternoon, leading the Rams to victory. The final score, the Rams 38, Cleveland 23. Stay tuned for the NFL Today post-game show. Greg and Terry will have all the scores, highlights, and latest playoff information. You are watching the NFL on CBS.